There is something which I've consistently said on this platform, and I will continue repeating it anytime I get a chance. That in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything in politics is normally well scripted, well planned, and well executed to achieve certain political objectives. And that's exactly what's happening. On Wednesday, something very interesting happened. Makwiny Sonko, who is the governor for Nairobi, announced that he was planning to take back the control of the Nairobi County government from central government. And he also shocked Kenya's father by announcing that whatever he signed there, he didn't read. And when he made that announcement, I knew at the back of my mind that Makwiny Sonko was sending certain political messages. And I didn't know why he was doing that. Because we all know Makwiny Sonko, as the governor of Nairobi, personally went and signed the transfer of deeds. And in that transfer of deeds, specific functions of the county government of Nairobi were transferred from the county government to the central government. And President Uhuru Kenyatta, in his own wisdom, then formed the Nairobi Metropolitan Services and appointed Mohamed Badi as the Director General of the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. And when the president made that move, it was clear to everybody who cared that that marked the end of Makwiny Sonko in Nairobi County government affairs. And indeed, that's exactly what has been happening. So when Makwiny Sonko announced recently that he was planning to take back those roles, I asked myself, how was this possible? And I'm getting now my answer, and I want us to go into those details shortly. And my answer is very clear, that Makwiny Sonko, it has been revealed, went and met with the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya in the dark of the night and discussed several of these things. And then after those discussions, the next day, Makwiny Sonko came and made those announcements. But what can Makwiny Sonko do before we go into those details? What can Makwiny Sonko do as things stand today? Can he successfully take over the control of those functions again? In my view, Makwiny Sonko has only 3 options for now. He can pursue to actually take over the control of Nairobi County. And I don't think if those options are viable for him, they don't favor him. The first option for Makwiny Sonko is to go to County Assembly of Nairobi and ask them to pass a motion in the assembly to nullify that particular deed. And the assembly can argue that that deed of transfer is not good for the people of Nairobi. But can Makwiny Sonko influence the County Assembly of Nairobi? I don't think so. Because as a matter of fact, when he was the governor, the MCS were with him. But the MCS have now realized that this guy is powerless. So currently, if they'll start going that route, they'll be viewed as fighting the government. I don't think any MCA in Nairobi would want to be seen to be fighting the government. So that's the first option. And I don't think it's possible. Because most of these MCAs will receive instructions from their party leaders. So the ODM MCAs will get instructions from Raila Odinga. And then the Jubilee MCAs will get instructions from the Jubilee party leader. And remember, when they were defiant, majority leader had to be sent home, but he was reinstated recently. So that route, I don't think will work. The second option for Makwiny Sonko is to go to court. Go to court and nullify that deed. But is it possible? Will he succeed? I don't think so, because already he's facing other cases in court. But those cases were slowed down because he agreed to cede some of the functions to the central government. So the moment Sonko will attempt to make that move of going to court, the other cases will be escalated. Remember, even before signing this document, Sonko was almost being impeached There were so many cases which he was dealing with. So anytime he will try to go to court, the system will escalate some of those. So I don't think he will succeed in that. Then the third option is to agree with the central government. They need to agree, they can agree with the central government that, look here, this thing is not working. So the best thing we can do is to agree to disband it and transfer these functions again to the national government, to central government. Remember, this deed is supposed to run for 24 months. So it means between now and 24 months, what has changed? It's only Sonko who is making noise. Other things are working. So I don't even think the central government will agree to what Mike Sonko is planning to do, because he has even refused to work with the Director General. I advised him in my last video on him that the best thing he can do is to look for this guy, work with him, because that's also a strategy. Work with him. Once you embrace each other, then things will just work freely. But the moment he will start opposing him, there's no way they can agree. But now back to the main issue here, which is the meeting between Mike Sonko and the Deputy President at night. What were they discussing? It is alleged that on that particular night, Oscar Sudi drove to Mike Sonko's private office at Capitol Hill, at Upper Hill. And then he picked Mike Sonko and he drove Mike Sonko alone. That's normally what happens. So he drove Mike Sonko up to the Deputy President's residence. And they were there for 4 hours discussing politics, Nairobi politics, everything. So they discussed a lot of things. But Sonko made a mistake that after that meeting immediately, he now felt that, okay, now I can tell the government. He didn't know that the government were actually tracking each and every of their movements. And after that meeting, Mike Sonko agreed that indeed he met with the Deputy President. And I also agree with Mike Sonko. There's nothing wrong at all with Mike Sonko meeting with the Deputy President William Ruto. Nothing wrong with that. The DP, apart from being the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, is a Kenyan. Mike Sonko, besides being the governor, is also a Kenyan. These guys have been friends, so they can meet. Uhuru meets with Raila. Sonko meets with these other guys. But the mere fact that these guys met, and then the next day, Sonko had the guts to announce what he announced. Probably these guys discussed several things in that meeting. So what are some of these things which probably these guys discussed in that meeting? That's the question. What did they discuss? That's the question. In my view, these guys might have discussed several things, but I want to narrow them down. The first thing is to disrupt the operations of the Nairobi Metropolitan Services in Nairobi. Remember, when Mike Sonko was kicked out of office, none other than the Deputy President William Ruto publicly supported Mike Sonko. And he said Mike Sonko will bounce back. He said that. Mike Sonko has been accusing a cartel around President Uhuru Kenyatta, that Uhuru Kenyatta had good intentions, but the cartels around him don't have good intentions. That one is defeatist. There's no way these guys can operate without the full support of the president. But now I suspect that these guys agreed that the best thing we can do is to disrupt the operations of the Nairobi Metropolitan Service. Remember, the first thing Mike Sonko did before meeting the DP was to refuse to sign the budget. So what are the other options available? Will he continue refusing to sign the budget? And if he will continue refusing to sign the budget, how will the county government of Nairobi operate without a budget? Or is there a strategy which the Nairobi Metropolitan Service will have to bypass Mike Sonko and then use the assembly to pass that budget? So those are some of the questions. And I think Mike Sonko Mike Sonko is not an ordinary politician. This is a politician who is trained in the street. He's streetwise. He knows how to make his moves. When Sonko signed this deed, I can assure you Mike Sonko was down, he was low, he was subdued. But he just appended his signature and he has gotten out the space and is now breathing. So that's the first strategy they are using. Number two, I think these guys might have also discussed how they can bring on board the County Assembly of Nairobi to Mike Sonko's side. I've always said here that power attracts people. So when Sonko was the powerful guy at the Nairobi city government, county government, MCS were attracted to him. But now, these MCS have realized that there's a new sheriff in town. So Sonko might not necessarily be the most powerful individual in that arrangement. So now their allegiance is actually towards that other guy. So I think that's what is worrying Mike Sonko. So he probably went to the DP to discuss how they can bring or have influence on the Nairobi County government. Remember, as I said, the MCS are directly responsible, they operate at the whims of their party leader. So the question is the Jubilee MCS in Nairobi, between Uhuru and Ruto, who controls them? So that's the question. So if Ruto will manage to control a few of them, then you also know Mike Mbuvi has a degree in street. It's called degree of life. So he can then maneuver his way and get a few MCS to his side. Because something very interesting happened. When Badi took over, he managed to get the support of the MCS. And that's a worry for Sonko. Because the MCS can actually now decide even to impeach him. So I think they discussed how they can influence those particular MCS. Number three, something which I know must have been discussed there, is how the DP could help him rally the support of Nairobi members of parliament. And in this case, you really don't blame, Sonko is a good guy. He's very philanthropic. Sonko is streetwise. Sonko is appealing to the poor, but he has a weakness. Mike Mbuvi Sonko's weakness is operating with other leaders. If Mike Sonko was to operate with other leaders, Igabe would still be the deputy governor of Nairobi. Today, I'm sure we won't be having a Nairobi Metropolitan Service. We won't be having Nairobi Metropolitan Service. We do only be having the Nairobi deputy governor, probably as the governor, temporarily. So when Badi took over, the first thing Badi realized that Sonko was not in terms with most of these MPs. Because in most cases, he would actually try to intimidate them. Claim, okay, nimewapea pesa au nini. So most of those MPs feared Mike Sonko. But when these guys took over, the first thing he did, he brought them together. So I think that's worrying Mike Sonko, and is now planning to use the DP to try and influence certain members of parliament who are allied to him. People like KJ, people like the member of parliament for Kasarani, people like Jaguar, those members of parliament, so that they can now start siding with him. Because that's how power is done. So he must split support. So that when this one supporting the major body, then he also has a few members of parliament supporting him. But as things stand today, he doesn't have that support. So I think probably in the next coming days, we'll start seeing some of the MPs allied to Tanga from Nairobi meeting with the governor, Mike Mbuvi Sonko. And don't be surprised if they will start fighting the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. Number 4, I think it's all about BBI politics. And one of the recommendations, which I'm sure will be put forward, is to disband the Nairobi County government. And that will be a golden opportunity for Mike Sonko to fight. Because Kenyans are asking themselves several questions. And one of them is that the central government has failed to deliver services to the people. So why should they be given another county, another metropolitan to manage? So let them manage central government, wakule huko, mwingine manage county, wakule. So I think they discussed that BBI, and that's going to be an opportunity for Mike Sonko to oppose. the BBI in Nairobi. Number 5, I think, is 2022 politics. What's the future of Mike Sonko in 2022 politics? So they must have discussed that. And how is Sonko going to support the DP in 2022? Because if he supports the DP, then probably some of his problems will reduce. So I think they must have also discussed all the possible scenario, as far as 2022 politics. Number 6, the other thing which these guys discussed, which I'm sure was discussed, was the issue of Ruai land. Because that land is in Nairobi County. So definitely, these two guys discussed it. Because remember, Sonko is still constitutionally the governor of Nairobi. William Ruto is facing a major scandal. And the government has repossessed, after that meeting, huge tracts of land from the DP. So I think they just discussed that particular land, how the Nairobi County government, if possible, could help him with the documents and the rest. And lastly, I think that meeting was also used to send a message to the president that, okay, I'm Mike Sonko, I have the support, I have the ability, the capacity, people like me, but I can also work with this other guy. I think it was also discussed. So that, Mike Sonko is still going to be very influential in Nairobi politics. He has people who believes in him. Wale wa mama Sonko anasaidia, they believe in him. People anawapeleka nyumbani wakikufa, those people believe in Mike Sonko. So he's telling them that, okay, I can still meet this guy. But that meeting, which was held at the DP's residence at night, is the reason why Mike Sonko made that particular statement. I don't know what you think. And if you're bumping of this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this one, you get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Thank you guys, and just the simple request I keep on repeating on this platform is just one. Help me create interactions. How do you help me create interactions? Simple. Just drop your comment, what you think on this video. Do you think the meeting between Sonko and Ruto took place? And if it took place, why was it leaked? And who leaked it? And what was the objective of that particular leakage? And if it didn't take place, who is behind this story if it's fake? I want to read your comments. So that's the first way you can help me create interactions. The other way is to give the video thumbs up or thumbs down. So if you like the video, just click thumbs up. If you don't like, thumbs down. Because from those, I'm also able to know the kind of content which you guys like. And alternatively, you can also reach me on my WhatsApp number, which is 0777 741323. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.